practical teaching. You cannot teach in the classroom lectures. You cannot lecture like this, where I am standing and teach Panchakarma or talk about Panchakarma. It's all about practical learning. And unless you have that practical learning, you cannot, if you have not been on the first one, you cannot be on the second one. You can speak only if you have done it. Next, please. Now, this is very important. Ayurveda, since morning we have been seeing that Ayurveda has become gradually, everybody is saying is becoming popular. Honorable Minister said it's becoming very popular, and especially with the kind of the governments we have now, who are very, very pro-Ayurveda. Adaniya Modi ji himself follows Ayurveda. We have the whole Ayush ministry under his prime ministership, which was not there earlier. So Ayurveda is gaining importance, not only bureaucratically, but even in the minds of people, Ayurveda is gaining a respect. I'll just quote a little example. When we were studying Ayurveda, if some of the co-passenger asked you, what are you doing? And if you say you are a doctor, he would be very curiously asking you, what kind of doctor? And the moment you say you are an Ayurvedic doctor, he used to say, acha, acha. And today, the things have changed. If you say you are an Ayurvedic doctor, he will come out with a list of so many problems. Sir, मुझे obesity भी कम करनी है. Sir, मुझे diabetes भी है. आप मेरी क्या मदद कर सकते हैं? He's so excited. So that is the change. At least we have noticed in our lifetime how Ayurveda has grown. And I am sure you all will also, at my stage, when you reach in the mid 60s and early 70s, you will also say that you have seen a change, a huge change. Why this huge change is going to occur in your lives? Because the things are changing very, very fast. Next, please. Let me tell you, Ayurveda has become popular because of several of these reasons. I was so pleased to hear from Honorable Minister this morning that Para is such a wonderful medicine. A minister speaking from the dais, an Ayush minister speaking from the dais about the goodness of a Para is something which should encourage all of us adopting the Ras Shastra, the Ras Aushadhi. I have been many times saying that Ras Aushadhi probably is the futuristic medicine. When all this jungle cover is gone, when most of these herbs will disappear, what will remain with you? It's primarily either the cultivated sources of the herbs or the Ras Shastra will come as a dominant force to take Ayurveda into the main stride. Safety is ensured. Can we go to them? Safety is ensured of Ayurvedic medicines. Now this safety ensured is very relative. If I say 100% ensured. If you ask public, they will say 90% assured. If you talk to an allopathic doctor, he will say 0% assured. He will jump out of the seat if he hears from the minister's mouth that Para is good for the health. So if now the times are so important, the allopathic doctors have been speaking so much against Ras Aushadhi that they are nephrotoxic, they are liver toxic, hepatotoxic. So whenever you are giving Ras Aushadhi, you must inform the patient. If you are not taking a consent, of course, that is a very far off dream. But if you are giving Ras Aushadhi, you should tell to the patient that I am giving you Ras Aushadhi and this is why I am giving you Ras Aushadhi, because it is Ashukari. It will be given in a very small dose. I mean, whatever benefits that we have of Ras Aushadhi, that you should tell, and this is going to be appropriate for your illness and will cure your illness fast. So the safety of Ayurvedic medicines is ensured. We and the public as doctors and our general public in India is assured about the safety. That is why Ayurveda is growing. Holistic approach. We have a very holistic approach. Whatever we do not have a target oriented approach. It has to hit the beta cells, it will hit only the beta cells, nothing else. If my ashwagandha is hitting the rasayana effect, it is also giving you mental relaxation, it is also curing your arthritis. So it has got a more holistic approach. It's very near to nature. So nature is being consumed by a natural body. So it's so rightly connected with each other that there's hardly any chance of side effects. It's tried and tested since thousands of years. If you, 3,000 to 4,000 is the call that we associate to charak. But I am sure charak was not written in a day. It must have been remained in a Shruti form, just as Ramayana and Mahabharata were in the Shruti form. Vedas must have crammed it over several years, passed it on to several generations, and then when the writing technology came, probably it came to be written. Most effective in NCDs and lifestyle disorders. So Ayurvedic medicines are very, very effective in lifestyle disorders and non-communicable diseases. And Panchakarma is, I am telling you, is a lifetime experience. Those of you, if you have not experienced Shirodhara, if you have not done Virechan, if you have not done Vaman, please do it yourself and see what are the benefits. We have done it. We conducted, I'll talk later in this lecture, that we conducted several camps in Podar Hospital. Ayurveda, when we come to Ayurveda, it's very well known. It is the science of life. Next, please. Next. I don't want to spend time on these passing slides. Next. Who is operating the slides, please? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. So, are you, this all I had kept for your bureaucrats and the directors, and it's not operating. There's no cell. Maybe you'll have to keep pressing from there. Is it me or you are doing it? You are doing it. So Ayurveda, what it has, just think 3,000, 4,000 years ago, just as the Honorable Minister was speaking in the morning, that when there was nothing, there was no allopathy. How did we maintain the health of this society? It was Ayurveda. And it is so wonderful science, especially about prameya and rheumatoid arthritis, Amvat. I normally compare it to rheumatoid. There can be some controversies. Chronic Amvat over a period of years can convert into Sandhivat as well, is a different story. But Amvat and prameya are two such diseases. If you read them systematically, try to compare as to what is written in the modern literature, you will be amazed. The obese diabetic and the lean diabetic. And there, the gastrointestinal antibodies in Amvat, in rheumatoid arthritis, they get into the circulation and lodge in the joints. That is what we are talking about, Ama. And that is around 4,000 years back we were talking of it. When the whole world was sleeping on health, they didn't know anything about health. Ayurveda knew so much. So you have, in Ayurveda, you have Hetu, Samprapti, you have Purvrup, Roop, Pathya, Apathya, everything that is related to disease. Chikitsa, complications, Vyakti, Bhed, everything we have. Next, please. So health according to Ayurveda is Samdosha Samagnishcha Samavdhato Malakriya. So it is all, we want to bring doshas into a balance. We want to bring dhatus into balance. We want to bring the excretory functions into balance. So that balance will be achieved only by Panchakarma. That is why Prasanna Atmendriya Mana. 85, the WHO is accepted that spiritual health is also important as one of the portions of the definition of health. Otherwise, prior to that, only Ayurveda was talking about the Prasanna Atmendriya Mana. Next, please. So, when we talk of Ashtanga Ayurveda, people come and ask, do you have specialties? Yes, we have. Earlier it was 8 departments we had in Ayurveda. We used to say we had Ashtanga Ayurveda. Now we have 14 different specialties that NCISM is giving us. Next, please. So, modalities of Ayurveda treatment: Shodhan, Shaman, Nidana Parivarjan and Pathya Vyavastha. These are the ways you can treat disease. Next, please. Now, this is very important. Yatha hi nirmale vastantre navarano yatha ropa pratipadyate tatha shuddhantare dehe hitam arugya karam bhavati. This is the basic concept of Ayurveda, of Panchakarma. Whenever you want to do any kind of rasayan or any shaman chikitsa on an individual, you will have to cleanse the body. Just as the similes are very good in Ayurveda. Just as the cloth has to be washed before dyeing. Next, please. Next. So what is Shodhan? Panchakarma is a complex system of expulsion of doshas. My own concept. By practicing Panchakarma, talking about Panchakarma, I have developed a few concepts which may not be as a traditional Ayurveda Vedya. I would not have got it if I had not applied mind to it. Now, you see the concept of Snehan in Ayurveda. For every Shodhan, whether it is Purva Karma, Abhyanga Sweda, or it is Snigdha, Abhyantar Sneh, everywhere you are using oils and ghees. That means there is something in body which is lipophilic, which you want to take out. It has to be lipophilic. Otherwise, you would have given some kara to drink. But it is oil and ghee. If somebody is not able to tolerate the go-greth, you have the facility of giving til to the individual. So, oil and ghee, that means again lipophilic. So, I have a strong feeling, now researchers will have to prove it, that body produces two kinds of toxins. Our body is full of so many millions and trillions of cells. Every cell produces energy. Every cell is an industry in itself. So, just as every industry produces some waste, therefore every cell produces some toxin which has to be thrown out. So, whatever is water soluble is taken out through two kidneys, and day and night these kidneys function and they throw out those toxins. So, water soluble toxins, we are not worried because they are immediately thrown out of the system. Even we have the apparatus of perspiration, apparatus of respiration, from where we throw out water during the respiration also. But as far as fat soluble is concerned, we have just one simple apparatus, which is the gallbladder. Gallbladder has got certain juices which has a capacity to metabolize certain fats and fatty acids. Other than that, there is hardly any other organ in the body which can metabolize the toxins or solubilize them and throw them out. Therefore, therefore the disease and therefore the aging. If you want to remain young, if you want to remain healthy, you have to come to Panchakarma to get Bhaya and Abhyantar Sneh and of course the Panchakarma which are prescribed later on. So Panchakarma is a complex, that's why I name it as a complex system of expulsion of vitiated doshas. As the name suggests, 5 is, the procedures are karma and 5 is the number. So 5 primary ones. Let me tell you what is practiced at the Pradhan Karma. So Pradhan Karma, if you want to see, you must come to Maharashtra. You must see the colleges in Maharashtra where we do it. I do it in my own clinic as well. So the 5 procedures, the public who is so much mystified by Kerala probably is not aware that real Panchakarma is not done in Kerala. It is the allied procedures. But we must give credit to Kerala because they have kept the tradition of Panchakarma alive, which was not in North India earlier. So gradually, the North is accepting the practices adopted in Kerala. So the allied procedures have also become very common. I am not saying that allied procedures like Navarkidi and Pindaswed and those things are not important. Those also have therapeutic efficacy and therapeutic value. But the real Panchakarma or what is Shuddhi Chikitsa or Shodhan is only Pradhan Karma. The others are only palliative. They are all Shamanam. Next, please. So it's all about ensuring that each cell of the body undergoes a thorough detoxification process. Every cell has to be, so when you just try to remember what we teach in Uttam Snigdha Lakshan. What is Uttam Snigdha? Uttam Snigdha is where you have brought in almost kind of a saturation of ghee into the body. Not even a drop of ghee can be consumed by the individual. That is the time you stop this. That is the time when you touch the skin of the, you will find that the body is all greasy. And even with the name of the ghee. Next please. शोधनानि तो सर्वेषां चिकित्सासु परम स्मृतं शुद्धे शरीरे ही आयु वृद्धि भवति आरोग्यता. So if you have taken panchakarma, sharir, the body also gets purified and there is ayu vriddhi and you have health. This is the importance of panchakarma. If you don't do panchakarma, you don't receive these benefits. You will have the relief for a certain moment of time. So panchakarma, everybody, we used to have, if you, some of you have heard, there used to be Dr. P.T. Joshi in Dhulia. I don't know whether he has come for lecture somewhere. He used to say, Basti Gyani Basti Dya. That everybody should take Basti and everybody should give Basti. So he was so fan about Basti. So everybody should take Panchakarma. Everybody should give Panchakarma. Next please. Benefits, if you see the list, it is huge. Restoration of the metabolic fire, that's Agni. Balancing all the three doshas, boosting the immunity, slowing the aging process, and then you facilitate the healthy diet and lifestyle as is envisaged in the Sansarjan Kram of Panchakarma. You reduce stress, improve relaxation. What else do you need? You get almost everything. Next please. Ashtanga Hridaya says, Shuddhehi dehe bhavati prasannatmindriya mana dosha na cha punarbhuya prakopam yati shodhanat. जो जिन दोषों को आपने निकाल दिया है वो दोबारा प्रकोपित होंगे ही नहीं अगर आप पंचकर्म करेंगे. By the end of this lecture, when you go home, you should all feel that now panchkarma is the only the treatment that one should prescribe before giving any shaman chikitsa or any rasayan or vajikaran chikitsa. Next please. These are certain references I thought that they will be important. So what does it include? It includes the last one. We have Vaman, Virechan, Basti, Nasya and Raktamokshan. There's a little bit of controversy whether it is Raktamokshan is a Panchakarma or not. Sushruta says it is a Panchakarma because he was more from the surgical thought process. So Raktamokshan was retained as Panchakarma. Some people count Anuvasan and Niru as two different kinds of Panchakarma. Next please. This we have already talked. Almost every disease that you think of is cured by. The only big no about Panchakarma is that acute emergency cannot be handled by Panchakarma. Acute infections cannot be handled by Panchakarma and for that matter with Ayurveda as well. So leave these two things. How many people do need emergency treatments? Hardly a few. ICUs only will have the emergency management or maybe the emergency medicine departments. Rest, whole of the hospital which is full of NCDs and the other kind of diseases, lifestyle disorders, they are all a subject of Ayurveda and of Panchakarma. Next please. Next. So, which Panchakarma is best? Kafasya Vamanam Shesham, Pittasya Virechanam. We all know about it. I just kept it as a reference. Vayo Basti Prashasta Syat Shodhanam Trividam Satam. So, for dosha type, you have the pradhanya. If it is Vat, you give Basti. If it is Pit, you give Virechan. If it is Kaf, you give the Vaman. Next please. So, Panchakarma applications are dosha specific as we just talked. They can be pre-operative. Even our Shalya people, at least I know of my colleagues who have been operating in Podar hospital, they used to give Basti for a few days before the patient was operated. Whether it is hydrocele, hernia or any other, even appendix, people used to give Basti. So pre-operative. Pre-operative for the surgery, Shalya Chikitsa ke liye और रिजुविनेशन थेरेपीज रसायन चिकित्सा जब देना है तभी भी रसायन के पहले भी आपको ये देना है. एंड द थर्ड वन इज प्री रसकल्प सेवन. व्हेनेवर यू वांट टू गिव रसकल्प फॉर ए लॉन्गर ड्यूरेशन, अपुनर्भवत्व के लिए जब भी आपको देना है तो प्रोबेबली पंचकर्मा शुड बी प्रिसीडेड बाय अपुनर्भव चिकित्सा. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. So let's come to Vaman. Kaf Pradhana, we have already talked about it. Next. So Vaman detox is for Urdhva Bhag, the upper part. You see, ultimately to take out the toxins without a knife, the only way possible is whatever holes you find in the body, you take out the toxins from there, or you put something through those holes into the body so that it can bring along with it some toxins. Because you are not using a knife. You are not cutting to take out the toxins. So basically, the Urdhva Bhag is Kapha, Kanthorasa, Shleshma, Vaksha, Shiraso. So this is the Urdhva Bhag. Pittam, Nabhyam Ashayam, Svedrak Lasikasu. So you have the Pittaka or Kafaka Sthan is the upper body. Therefore you take out the toxins from the upper holes. That is, you have the biggest upper hole is the mouth. So you give the Vaman process. Next, please. Next. Vasantik Vaman. Now it's not only for the disease process that we give. Whenever we want health promotion, it is said that in Vasant you should do Vaman. In Varsha you should always advise Basti. And in Sharad Ritu you should always give Virechan. Because dosha have their own life cycle of they become Prakopit, after Prakop they Prasham. So they get pacified and you come into a normal stage. So अवस्थिक काल में चाहे वो दिन के उसमें हो या ऋतु के उसमें हो या संवत्सर में हो तो दोष बढ़ते हैं, ज़्यादा होते हैं, अपने आप शमन होता है, उनको डिजीज प्रोसेस में परिवर्तित नहीं हो, प्रकोप के बाद प्रसर नहीं हो और स्थान संशय नहीं हो. इसलिए आपको ये जो सीजनल पंचकर्मा है ये देना आवश्यक है. वसंत ऋतु में वमन देना आवश्यक है. I'll just share some experience. Next. The last one. In Podar, when I was from North India, I am from Jammu Kashmir. I studied in BHU and I went to Podar and I found the tradition of Panchakarma was very good over there, and I had never performed Panchakarma before that. North was absolutely zero on Panchakarma 30 years back. So when I went there, I learned what this practical Panchakarma is. And I learned it for a year or two. I gave it to my patients. I cleanly observed them. I did it myself. I did it for the staff of the college. And then I thought of taking a huge camp on Vaman. And we treated around 500 patients we subjected to Vasantik Vaman. And it used to be a big mela. We made Snehan committee, Sweden committee, history taking committee, all different committees. And it was a big mela of the institute where even the dean also cooperated. I was the I think associate professor that time in Kai Chikitsa. We conducted this in 500 patients. And on an average we found that it requires 3 persons to perform Vaman. Minimum 3 persons. So if you are in a clinical setup where you do not have the manpower, please don't do it. Because you will require एक आश्वासन के लिए, because it's not a easy process. इतना सारा मधुयष्टि फांट पी के और निकालना, वो पिएगा ही नहीं. पहले आप आश्वस्त करते जाते हैं, एक आश्वासन देने के लिए, काढ़ा पिलाने के लिए, तीसरा ब्लड प्रेशर और वो सारा नापने के लिए, पल्स वल्स देखने के लिए. And who all did? Many of the patients did. And it included the doctors of Podar Hospital who took Panchakarma, nurses of the Podar Hospital, they also took Panchakarma. And we established, and we studied what were the reports of, and we established that cow's ghee did not increase the lipid profile. So lipid profile remained intact. And let me tell you my little bit of experience on this. जो प्रधान कर्म करने के बाद, after you have performed Vaman, you have संसर्जन क्रम. वो संसर्जन क्रम में 2 दिन तो आप खाने के लिए कुछ देते ही नहीं हो. So there is auto digestion of the remaining ghee in the system. whatever ghee is there in the system, whatever toxins which have not been able to come out through the woman, they also get auto-digested, and the ghee also gets auto-digested. So Sansarjan Kram is basically to bring your body back to normal. So all your parameters, where they were before you started ghee or the Snehan, the Purva Karma Snehan, your body is brought back to that level. So average Snehan days was around 5 to 6 days. Many patients of amlapith, sinusitis, allergic rhinitis and chronic conditions were successfully treated. Many of them had almost an instant relief. Many patients of amlapith said, "Sir, आज से हमारा amlapith चला गया." Many people said, "हमारा sinusitis, नासा अवरोध बिल्कुल खत्म हो गया." There are many other diseases that we categorized that time. Woman should be taken. This is a serious procedure. I'll tell you why. Out of 500, 5 patients bled orally, what we call as hematemesis. It was not from the lungs, it was from the stomach. Why? Because the after you give Madanfal, the vomiting is so strong, the stomach churns like a mixer and it throws away. It is a projectile vomiting. It will not be 1 or 2 feet. The vomit will go up to 4 feet, 5 feet. So it is so much of pressure on the stomach that if there is a silent duodenal ulcer, it might leak, it might bleed. 2 cases were Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, which were diagnosed. Zollinger-Ellison syndrome is also acid secreting cells grow, and that has to be diagnosed in a different way as compared to duodenal ulcer. 3 were duodenal ulcer patients. We kept them into our emergency ward. To 1 we had to give transfusion, and they were settled in Podar hospital. We did not transfer those patients outside. So whenever you are doing Panchakarma, good history taking is very, very important. Take the fitness. Other than woman, no other Panchakarma is as history intensive as woman is. So good history taking and fitness check, like you must do ECG also, because it creates a lot of stress when the patient has to consume 5 liters of Madhuyashti fant or Ikshuras or Dugdh. It is a lot and it has to be thrown out. So therefore, to meet that stress, you must see that every physiological event is absolutely normal. Next, please. Next. So Shuddhi by woman is gauged by Antiki, Vaigiki, Maniki and Lankiki. Those of Panchakarma department and those who are students in Panchakarma would know it, would remember it, that these are the parameters, whether it is an optimal woman or it's not an optimal woman. Next, please. Indications: mental disorders, conditions having Bahu Doshavastha, Kapha dominant conditions where the need of woman is due to Marga Virodhatva. If there is something, Adog Raktapit is there, you have to give woman. This is the indication given by Ayurveda Shastra. Next, please. Contraindications, very important. Any acute illness. If there is acute abdomen, you don't have to give. If there is acute chest pain, you don't have to give. Any acute problem, you should not be giving woman. Conditions where there is Kash, there is Krishavastha, Kshay, you don't have to give. In tuberculosis, you don't have to give. In Crohn's, you don't have to give woman, because there is already a weight loss. Conditions in which doshas move in the Urdhva Gati, and in weak and old age. Next, please. So this is one of the studies done somewhere in North India. People did a lot of woman processes. It is published in an indexed journal. I took it from there, and this is just to let you know that most of the things go very well with women. Respiratory disorders, they said the breathlessness attacks reduced by women, cough frequency reduced, chest congestion reduced. Skin diseases, there was decrease in itching, scaling, erythema and lesion size. Metabolic disorders improved in terms of reduction of BMI, weight loss was there, improved energy levels were there, reduction in the lipid profile were there. Pulmonary function test showed betterment, PFT was better, inflammatory markers like CRP and ESR were better as compared to what were pre-Vaman. Next, please. Then we come to the next one. This, now I'll start dealing in little lesser details, but Virachanam to Pittanam, whenever there is Pitta dosh in the body, you have to do Virachan. Contraindication, of course, pregnancy, children, elderly, severe weakness, Kshay, and certain acute conditions that we talked of earlier. Next, please. We'll go a little fast. Let me at least talk about this. This is also Purva Karma, Pradhan Karma, and Paschat Karma. Sneha Swedan Purvani, Karmani Shodhanani cha. So it has to be done with proper Purva Karma that is advised as Uttam Snegd and Uttam Swidh. Next, please. Virachan, now we are talking about Virachan benefits. There are many. The moment you do Virachan, you get the benefits. Next. It detoxes the liver, intestines. So any problem with liver or intestine, especially the fatty liver, this is a wonder treatment. You give Virachan 2 to 3 times, spread over a period of 6 months, and you will find that the fatty liver is gone. Clears skin and improves complexion, improves digestion and metabolism, enhances mental clarity, and prepares body for asana therapies. Next. So what is the method? Again the same. Sneh Vyavastha is like the woman, but here you have to give Abhyanga Swed for 3 days. In woman you give it only for a day. So that is the only difference between the Purva Karma. So Virachan process must start in the morning because it takes the whole day. I don't know whether you are conducting Virachan over here. So Virachan must start in the morning, must start at 8 or 9 o'clock. Then only the patient will be free by 5 in the evening. Because you, after Uttam Snigdha, if you call him for Abhyanga Swed for 2 days, on the third day, when you call the patient, call him at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So by 10 or 11, your Abhyanga Swed is over. You give the medicines that are given, like we give purgatives such as castor oil, Triflaquat, Kutki, Abhyadi Modak. So Jaipal Bij always is one of the drugs of choice for Virachan. Therefore, you cannot ask the patient to go home. The patient has to remain under observation because you have given Jaipal Bij. Whether it is Abhyadi Modak or Ichha Bedi Ras, it is Jaipal Bij. So Jaipal Bij, you cannot take risk. Let the patient be there. The moment for 1 hour the patient is not having loose stools, watery stools, you can think that now the Virachan process is over, you can send him home. So observe the last expulsion. Here again Antiki, Vegiki, Lengiki, etc. all have to be followed, and it takes full day. Next, please. Next we come to Basti. Next. Literal meaning is the bladder of the animal because that was used for giving Basti, and therefore Basti Chikitsa is the best. Next. Basti Sarveshu Chikitseshu Pradhanam. Out of all the treatments, Basti is the best. Sarvesham evcha roganam vatarthanam. Basti hi ardha chikitsaya vate sarva chikit. In all other diseases, it is almost 50% of the management. And in Vata Vyadhi, it is 100% management. That is why I remember that Dr. P.T. Joshi who used to say, from the dais he used to say, Basti Ghyani Basti Dya. In Marathi, it is Basti Ghya is you take Basti and you give Basti. Next, please. So again, Purva Karma, Pradhan Karma, and Paschat Karma. Next. Based on contents, there are types of Basti. Based on content, it is Niru Basti or Anuvasan Basti. Next. Whether we use Kara or we use oils, I am doing it day in and day out. Daily, my doctor still, I think I would have a patient of Virachan in my clinic, even as we are speaking now. Yoga Basti, based on the schedule or the number of Bastis that you want to give. You can give 8, it is called Yoga Basti, Kala Basti. And if you want to give 30, it's Karma Basti. Next, please. I give even 60 Bastis also to some patients. With a gap of 7 days, 30 plus 30 also I give. Special varieties that are mentioned in Ayurveda, other varieties are Kshir Basti, Tel Basti, Yapan Basti, Matra Basti. Matra Basti can be given regularly to the constipated patients. Next. Then you have Shodhan Basti based on their Prayojan, Shodhan Basti, Shaman Basti, Brangan Basti, Lekhan Basti, Rasayan Basti, Vajikaran Basti. So Basti is everywhere, especially in cases of, if you know of Dushnanian, that muscular dystrophy. This is muscular dystrophy, LMND, and several other neurological disorders if you have come across. Probably you will find that Basti is one of the best treatments. And we have tried even what is that called? That Basti, where we use all kinds of sneha. Where we use all kinds of sneha. Vasa, lasik, all types of sneha we use. So we used to get Vasa, Majja, Tail, Grit. All these four we used to get. From Abetter I used to get Vasa and Majja. The patient used to bring it. Tail and Grit we used to have in our own Panchakarma center. So we used to mix it and we used to give it for neurological disorders. Next please. Next. So Basti, anyways, we go to Basti useful in neurological disorders, very effective, musculoskeletal conditions in Sandhivat, Amvat. You talk of Basti every time. If it is Amvat, it is Veteran Basti. If it is Sandhivat, it is Kal Basti, Karma Basti. Digestive disorders, gynecological issues. In PCOD, we give Bastis. In many of the irregular menstruation, we give Bastis. So for general health also, you give Basti during the Varsha Ritu. Next. Then you have Nasya. Something brief about Nasya. Yeah, please go ahead. It involves the cleansing of the nasal passage by administration of oils. It's not only cleansing the passage, it is the removing of doshas by institution of oils, powders, herbal juices, infusions, or even smoke. Next. So Nasyami Shirso Roge. So for all Shiras Rogas, everything that is there in the head. And next please. So Nasahi Shirso Dwaram, and then Tasmat Nasya Prayojyam to Shiro Rog by Nirbhanam. So you do it for all kinds of Shiro Rog, whether it is migraine, headaches, you have some other kinds of Shiro Rog, you have the hair fall. Next please. You have Nasya Nihita Roga, Shira Kantha Akshi Karnaja. So for all eye, ENT disorders also. So Urdav Jatrugat, probably this works as Basti. Just as Basti is for the 50% treatment for the body, Nasya is almost 100% treatment for the Urdav Jatrugat Vyadi. Next, here earlier, maybe because of the stress and constant sitting. So they come, we give Nasya to them. Next. Classification of Nasyas. I'll quickly go through that. When you give powder in the Nasyas, Pradhaman Nasya. When you give oil, it is oil Nasya, Tail Nasya. When you give the decoction, it is Navan Nasya. And Marsha Nasya when you are giving ghee. Next. Based on the Nasya effect, you have Bringan and Shaman. Next. And next we come to the Raktamokshan. This also is a very, very important. Here also there is a simile. People ask me, how are you sure that Jaloka is going to take away all the toxins in the blood? I give them the simile of that is given in Ayurveda. जैसे हंस दूध और पानी को अलग करता है. Similarly, I don't remember that Sanskrit shlok, but similarly, Jaloka has got a property to differentiate between the toxins and the blood, the toxic blood and the good blood. And I normally convince the patient, because the Jaloka stays there for around 1.5 hours. I tell them it scans the whole blood. The whole blood has to go through that part of the body where the Jaloka is applied, and it scans the whole blood and keeps sucking the toxins. That is how we have to convince the patients. So it's a detox treatment for the blood. So for all blood impurities, of course, it has got instant results. Next. So Rakta Dushti, serve all diseases because of Rakta Dushti, this is going to help you. Next. So indications are Rakta Mokshan in every kind of Kusht, that is skin disorders. Kusht, I personally perceive Kusht as the whole gamut of skin disorders. It's whole of dermatology hidden in Kusht, whether it is different varieties of Kusht. So in whole of dermatology, Raktamokshan is very, very important. In Pandu it is important, Jwar it is important, Gulm. These are the, Arsh it is very important, Shof and chronic ulcers are very quickly relieved. Non-healing ulcers is one of the best indications for Raktamokshan. Next please. So what are the main types? We have Shastrakrit, whether you do it by Siraved or by Prachan. The cupping therapy is a form of, cupping is not given in Ayurveda, but it is kind of a Prachanam Chikitsa. Next please. Then you have Anushastra Krit. Anushastra is Jaloka, Shingi, Alabu, but Jaloka is something which is, because it has got that property of differentiating between the toxic blood and the normal blood, therefore we always prefer the Jaloka. Next please. And the diseases very commonly treated by, skin diseases are very, very commonly treated by Raktamokshan. Congestive heart failure is treated by, hypertension is also treated by this. Non-healing ulcer, diabetic ulcers are wonderful. They are the wonderful subjects for Raktamokshan. Osteoarthritis reduces the swelling and inflammation, and thrombosed piles. Next please. Next. Now leech is not only for Ayurveda, even in modern medicine, to some of you it may be a news that leech is FDA approved medical device. I went to Moscow 2-3 times, I went to St. Petersburg. Everywhere I saw leech breeding was so huge. हम लोग तो भारत में बहुत कम यूज करते हैं, रशिया में. I went to US, everywhere people are using leeches. So leech is applied in various venous congestion and hematomas. Tissue salvage in non-healing ulcers and the necrosis. Wherever there is necrosis, apply leeches. They work like scavengers, and it is FDA approved. In the infected wounds also they have a lot of role to play. The only caution is, next please. The only caution is that it has its complications many times, and it's frequent. It's not rare. Many times the patient will say, "Is Jaloka ne mujhe bahut kaata hai." Normally, Jaloka kaatti nahi hai, it's painless. But sometimes the patient feels the pain. Sometimes there is an inflammation around that wound. So you should know, you should seal that wound, you should keep tracking that wound, not that after 5 days the patient comes with an abscess over there. So allergic reactions are there. Sometimes there is allergy. It all becomes red. And prolonged bleeding and infection. So a very, very good history taking, especially about the history of blood thinners, is very important, because this induces blood thinning. If you are already on aspirin, if you are already on clopidogrel, then probably you will bleed. You will bleed not only for 2 days, you will bleed for 4 days. Therefore, if in such a patient you want to give leech, probably what you should do is stop the blood thinners for 7 days and then you apply the leech. And whatever technique you are applying should be wash the area nicely. But the only issue is that if you have spirit over there, if you have Savlon over there, the leech will not give a cut over there. Leech will not get attached. Therefore, you clean it with sterile water, and then you can, after Abhyang, if you want to do, you have to clean it with soap and water, because even on a skin that is on which there is oil, it is not going to stick. Next please. So next we come to quickly we will go through another 5 minutes I will take, allied Panchakarma procedures. Abhyang is an allied, it is a Purva Karma, but patients come, I am tired of in the gym, I must have one session of Abhyang, can you give me? You never say no, because this is kind of a Shaman Chikitsa for them. So give all kinds of Vaman and, all kinds of Swedan, whether it is the Abhyangam with oil, next please, or it is, this has got many, many benefits. You always feel better with Abhyang, because Ayurveda believes the site of Man is not only Hriday, It is the whole body, every cell in the body has got man. So when you get Abhyanga, whole body Abhyangam, then you will have happiness. So there is a mental satisfaction after that. You will feel that happiness on the face of the patient. Next please. This is also a kind of Abhyanga. This is called Pidichal. This is practiced in South India. But it is again the application of oil and massage. Next please. Swedan Karma. This is also given as an independent treatment as a Shaman Chikitsa. Whether you take it in lying or sitting down postures. Next please. You have Pinda Swed. You have Patrapotli Swed. You have Shalishashtik. So depending on certain indications you can conduct this. This is Patrapotli Swed. I will take a half a minute on it. It is an excellent remedy for chikungunya. Those of you must be receiving many patients of chikungunya who have arthritis, who have fibromyalgia for many, many months to follow. The chikungunya is all good, but fibromyalgia, the body aches, and the arthritis remains for 6 months or a year. So fibromyalgia heals very nicely to Patrapotli Swed. Frozen shoulder, almost known, the established kind of a treatment in my clinic. Anybody who comes with a frozen shoulder, even my juniors will advise that you must take Patrapotli. Then in that case, you give a sthanic Patrapotli. Osteoarthritis of the knees and whole body, disc bulges, spondylitis, neurological disorders like lower motor neuron disease, CP, cerebral palsy and myopathies. Next please. Then you have different kinds of other types of basti. This is local basti. Wherever you have retained the oil over the body, that's called the local basti. You have it on Hriday, it is called Hrid basti or Uro basti. You keep it on Manya, it is called Manya basti. On Shiras, it is called Shiro basti. So they all have their Shamana effect, the localized effect. Next please. So if you have it on the eyes, especially important for the more screen time and the dry eye syndrome, this is very effective. We have seen, I think Dr. Arvind is here who has studied from Pudar. We see a lot of relief in dry eye syndrome on with this Netra Basti. Next please. Shirodhara, probably the most and the highest rated photographs everywhere. You go in the flights, you take out the magazine, you will see these photos. You go to Kerala, you go to a Panchakarma center, you will have this photo everywhere there. Even on, if you type Panchakarma on internet, this is the photo which will come. Shirodhara, an excellent remedy for insomnias, for stress, for anxiety and depressions. This is one of the best remedies, Shirodhara. But the catch is, it has to be pin drop silence. It's not like many of the government hospitals I see that the patient keeps talking to the therapist and patient keep talking and he keeps pouring the oil over the head and it has absolutely zero value. Until and unless the patient, my challenge is the patient has to, if it is a proper Shirodhara, in 5 to 10 minutes the patient has to sleep on the table. And then he has to be woken up after 45 minutes. Yes, your treatment is over, please go home. So that is the kind of Shirodhara. I normally convince the patient by saying that many sessions of meditation by yoga are equivalent to one session of Shirodhara if done properly. So there has to be classical music, absolutely soundproof. When I am taking one patient of Shirodhara in my clinic, no other treatment goes on at that time. There is no movement of the people allowed. The therapist is there inside. The doctor is there inside. That is it. Nobody is allowed to go in and come in. Next, please. It's performed for 30 to 45 minutes. Next. So, ultimately you will ask me, Shodhan is better or Shaman is better? If you do proper Shodhan, Shuddhe tu kaye, Sati Shamane na yojet. Shodhane ni Shuddha, ka Shamanartha ni yojyate. If you have done a proper Shodhan, but Shaman is not required. So you achieve much of the benefits with Shodhan. Of course, I am not saying that you should not be doing Shaman Chikitsa, but this is how it is. It has been said to be important. Next. Now, important is retreats and spas. I would have loved if your DG Ayush would have been here, because Ananda in Himalayas, 6 senses in Barwara, Rajasthan, Atmantan Wellness Resort, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them everywhere in the country. Less in north, more in west and south. Every 10 kilometers you will find a spa. Around Nasik, they call it as Devbhumi there. The Nasik district has been declared by government of Maharashtra as Devbhumi because you have Trambak over there, you have many more temples over there, then you have Narmada over there, the Kumbh is organized over there. Therefore, these centers have come up like anything, everywhere, especially in Nasik, Pune, Mumbai, all around. And they are minting money like anything. So the first list tells you more about the allied procedures. Here the typical Shodhan processes are rarely done. Not that they are not done, but they are done, but rarely. Basti everybody will give. But nobody is going to give woman or virechan in these kind of luxury spas. Because people come for 7 days and they say, let me enjoy a healthy life. So what they will do, 2 Abhyanga Sweda, 2 Shirodhara, 1 Basti, and that is which is absolutely carries no meaning. आप बताइए 2 बस्ती देने से शुद्धि हो सकता है क्या? When our shastras say you have to have Kal Basti, Karma Basti, Yoga Basti, minimum is 8 days, and if you come for 3 days, it's of absolutely no use. That is how these people have their programs. Check their websites. 7-day program, 10 days program, 3 days program. Absolutely useless. Next. But they are minting money. They have let Ayurvedic doctors open these spas. Typically, Ayurveda centers and the holistic healing, where all these Shodhana processes are also done, they are Saukya, Kerali, Niramaya, and Somathiram in Kovalam. Kovalam is full of these Panchkarma centers. I think your DG Ayush also had gone to some of these centers. And when we started in Podar, in the year 2000, in Maharashtra, there were no payment centers of Panchakarma. There were no centers in private. When we started in Podar, only government hospitals had the Panchakarma centers, and they were absolutely dirty. 10 people sitting in a queue with only their underwears on, and one by one, just 1 or 2 minutes of massage, and they used to say Panchakarma ho gaya. That is how it was, the status of Panchakarma that time when I joined Podar Hospital in 1990. Then we went to, I took my secretary to, the secretary was from Kerala. He was very interested in Panchakarma. He asked me whether we can start in Podar. Then both of us went together to Kerala. We saw a few centers and we made this center in Maharashtra. This was the first payment center in government hospital, in Podar Hospital, which started, it earns around 1 crore of rupees as on today. 1 crore is the collection in Podar Panchakarma Center as on today. So this is how the successful, then people from the private sector, government sector, other Ayurvedic colleges, everybody started visiting that center as to what is happening there. So the kind of concept that we had, people followed that, and probably these people are also following the, some of these, like Somathiram, they receive chartered planes. From Russia there is a chartered plane, from Poland there is a chartered plane. So 200 people coming over there, 500, 300 people, 100 people coming and landing in their centers. So they have huge capacity. So they are doing it. I know it because when I was working for Dabur, from Dabur, as a representative of Dabur, I received a group of Russians who were doing Dabur business in Russia. They had to be stayed in one of these centers, and I traveled to Kerala, stayed there for 3-4 days, and very minutely observed what they are doing. Next, please. Next. So there is the first prior to this. So there is a need gap. There are short-term courses that we need. I don't say you need, we need. Why? Because we do not have better managers. We are good Ayurvedic doctors. We are excellent Ayurveda doctors, but we are poor managers. We are not better managers. We are not better planners. We are not better entrepreneurs. Whereas an MBA, what he does is, I know of a person who visits me many times for my association with him, but I have not gone with him. He started Panchakarma clinics in Mumbai, Panchkarma centers in Mumbai, wants me to be associated with him. He has engaged several doctors. He is an MBA. Why an Ayurveda doctor should not be doing it? He is engaging Ayurveda doctors at 20,000, 30,000 rupees of salary. Why my Ayurvedic doctor should earn 2 lakhs rupees per month, 5 lakhs rupees per month if he opens this center on his own? So, therefore, we have to develop entrepreneurs. Unless and until we have entrepreneurs in our Ayurvedic fraternity, we will remain secondary to these MBAs and IIT people who will make startups. They will start their Panchkarma centers, they will start their pharmacies. I know many people who have started Ayurvedic pharmacies. They are IITs and they are engaging Ayurvedic doctors. So your strength, somebody else is encashing on it. So be better planners, be better entrepreneurs, and start thinking of owning your center rather than doing a service with somebody else. Next, please. So in conclusion, next. So ayu arugyam ussijya roginam panchakarmana vikare hanumat ayushi dirghayushi chodeyet. So if you have panchakarma, then you have the cure of the diseases, therapy is there, you achieve uttam arogya, uttam ayu. So you have the best of ayu when you have panchakarma. This is the message of the day, that you enjoy the best health. Let that be enjoyed by your patients. So give panchakarma and take panchakarma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very informative and very, elaborated lecture. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद के साथ मैं मंच पर आसीन सभी विशेषज्ञों से ये अनुरोध करना चाहूँगा कि इस सत्र के बाद जितने भी हमारे चिकित्सक हैं, अपनी फील्ड में जो काम कर रहे हैं, जो पेशेंट से इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, उनके माध्यम से हम लोगों ने कुछ प्रश्न मंगवाए थे और जो पैनल डिस्कशन का हिस्सा हैं, तो इस क्रम में कुछ प्रश्न हम लोगों ने सेलेक्ट किए हुए हैं जो पेशेंट्स के द्वारा पूछे जाते हैं नॉर्मली। तो मंच से मेरा अनुरोध है कि उन जिज्ञासाओं को आंसर देंगे वो। तो इस क्रम में सबसे पहले जो प्रश्न पूछने के लिए, हाँ आप आ जाइए, आइए। अध्यक्षीय उद्बोधन के लिए प्रोफेसर ठकराल सर प्लीज़ मंच पर आएं।
आज के इस आयुर्वेद उत्सव दिवस पर आप सभी का इस हाल में स्वागत है। मैं डॉक्टर के ठकराल विशेष तौर से छात्र छात्राओं को बताना चाहूँगा कि मैं इसी कॉलेज का पहले बैच का पहला स्टूडेंट हूँ। और मैं आज भी अपने आप को एक छात्र ही मानता हूँ, और जब यहाँ आता हूँ इस कॉलेज में तो मेरा सिर अपने आप झुक जाता है। मेरी आयु 88 साल की, 88 में एंटर कर गया हूँ मैं, 88 में। लेकिन जब यहाँ आता हूँ आप छात्र छात्राओं के बीच में, तो 50 साल आयु मेरी अपने आप कम हो जाती है। आज का जो विषय डॉक्टर कोहली जी ने प्रस्तुत किया है, बहुत ही विहंगम तरीके से पंचकर्म को उन्होंने आपके सामने प्रस्तुत किया है। अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस बताए हैं, उसका जो अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट्स हैं उनको उन्होंने बताया है। पंचकर्म के क्या लाभ हैं, कहाँ करना चाहिए, कहाँ नहीं करना चाहिए, कितना उसका फाइनेंशियल आउटकम हो सकता है, इस संबंध में भी उन्होंने चर्चा की है। मैं तो अपने जीवन में सर्जन रहा हूँ। सर्जरी की है, बहुत की है, इस आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज में भी की है और कॉलेजेस में भी की है। तो क्या सर्जरी में पंचकर्म का कोई रोल है या नहीं, ये एक महत्वपूर्ण बात है। और जो मेरा एक्सपीरियंस कहता है वो ये है कि बिना पंचकर्म के सर्जरी हो ही नहीं सकती। और सर्जरी को अगर आप सुश्रुत की भाषा में बोलें तो जितने भी कर्म सुश्रुत ने बताए हैं उन सबको उन्होंने कहा है षष्ठी उपक्रम। या फाइनल ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हैं, फाइनल ईयर स्टूडेंट्स हैं, षष्ठी उपक्रम, पीजी स्टूडेंट्स हैं। 60 उपक्रम बताए हैं और सर्जरी को 3 भागों में बांटा है, पूर्व कर्म, प्रधान कर्म और पश्चात कर्म। उन तीनों अवस्थाओं में इन 60 उपक्रमों को, इन 60 कर्मों को उन्होंने बांटा है, जिसमें कोई भी ऐसा पार्ट नहीं है कि जहाँ पंचकर्म का रोल ना हो। पंचकर्म के 2 मुख्य जो लाभ हैं वो आपको बताए, शरीर की शुद्धि करना और शरीर को रिजुविनेट करना, शरीर में बल लाना। अब ये बताइए, अगर एक कोई पेशेंट आपके पास आता है जिसका आपको हर्निया का ऑपरेशन करना है और अगर उसको एनीमिया है तो क्या आप ऑपरेट करेंगे? नहीं करेंगे। सबने सिर हिला दिया। नहीं, क्यों नहीं करेंगे? सुश्रुत ने इसीलिए कहा है रोगी का बल अबल देखकर उसका शस्त्र कर्म करना चाहिए। तो यहाँ पंचकर्म का रोल आ गया, पंचकर्म का रोल आ गया। उसकी शुद्धि के साथ साथ उसको रिजुविनेट करना है। रिजुविनेट करने के लिए उसको रसायन देना है। जब रसायन देंगे उसकी हीमोग्लोबिन वापस आ जाएगी, तब आप ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं। अगर कोई आपके पास हेल्दी पेशेंट आता है तब क्या करना है? तब आपको उसमें या तो विरेचन कराना पड़ेगा या तो कोई और शोधन प्रक्रिया करनी पड़ेगी, तभी आप उसका ऑपरेशन कर पाएंगे। तो इस प्रकार से शल्य कर्म में जितने भी शस्त्र कर्म होते हैं उनके पूर्व कर्म, प्रधान कर्म और पश्चात कर्म में इसकी आवश्यकता पड़ती है। आवश्यकता इसलिए पड़ती है कि एक तो हमको ऑपरेशन करने के बाद वुंड हीलिंग कराना है, उसका व्रण जल्दी से जल्दी भर जाए। दूसरा अर्ली रिकवरी। अब टेक्निक बदल रही है। पहले क्या होता था, हर्निया का ऑपरेशन किया, पेशेंट 8 दिन लेटा रहता था। अब हर्निया नए तरीके से होने लगा, रोबोटिक सर्जरी होने लगी, मिनिमल इन्वेजिव सर्जरी होने लगी। तो पेशेंट को जल्दी से बेड से हटा दिया जाता है, 2 दिन बाद, 1 दिन बाद, ठीक है आप घर जाओ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। अर्ली रिकवरी के लिए भी आपको पंचकर्म करना नितांत आवश्यक है। आयुर्वेद में 3 दोष तो माने गए हैं, वात पित्त कफ, लेकिन रक्त को भी दोष माना, जिस पर डॉक्टर कोहली जी ने वर्णन भी किया है। रक्त एक ऐसी अवस्था है कि उसके बिना जीवन नहीं है। रक्त है, रक्तम जीविति स्थिति, रक्त है तो जीव है। तो रक्त के संबंध में भी आयुर्वेद में जो वर्णन है उसका शोधन करना, उसके इन्फेक्शन के ऊपर कंट्रोल करना और उसकी जो क्वालिटी है उसको मेंटेन किए कर रहना, ये भी पंचकर्म के अंतर्गत आता है। तो इस प्रकार से शल्य तंत्र में आयुर्वेद के जो ये 5 कर्म का सिद्धांत है, इसकी जो विधियां हैं अलग अलग, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। तो इस प्रकार से डॉक्टर कोहली जी का मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ अपनी ओर से, अपनी संस्था की ओर से। आपने बहुत अच्छा वक्तव्य दिया और छात्र छात्राओं को बहुत ज्ञान प्राप्त हुआ होगा। इस अवसर पर मैं प्रधानाचार्य जी को, डॉक्टर रेखा वाजपेयी जी को एवं अन्य सभी अध्यापकों को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने मुझे यहाँ आमंत्रित किया और मैं अपने ही घर में आया हूँ, इसलिए मुझे और ज़्यादा खुशी है। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। और इस क्रम में हमारा सौभाग्य है कि CCRS की जो लखनऊ शाखा है उससे डॉक्टर श्रीकला मैम हमारे बीच में आ चुकी हैं, तो मैं उनसे अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो मंच पर आएं। डॉक्टर श्री और आदरणीय प्राचार्य महोदय से मैं निवेदन करूंगा कि वो मंच पर आकर डॉक्टर श्रीकला को मोमेंटो, अंगवस्त्र और बुके देकर उनको स्वागत एवं सम्मानित करें। प्रोफेसर DK मौर्य सर, प्लीज सर। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और स्वागत है आपका मैम। और इस उद्बोधन के अगले सोपान में, जैसा कि मैंने अभी आप सबके सामने अवगत कराया था कि हमारे जो चिकित्सक हैं उन्होंने अपने जो फील्ड में जो क्वेश्चंस जिनसे उनका इंटरफेस होता है उन क्वेश्चंस को हमने अपने डोमेन्स के थ्रू मंगाया था। तो इस क्रम में पैनल डिस्कशन में प्रोफेसर ठकराल सर हैं, प्रोफेसर ND मिश्रा सर हैं, प्रोफेसर कमल सचदेवा सर हैं, और इसी क्रम में जो औषधियों के संबंध में भ्रांतियां हैं उनके निराकरण के लिए डॉक्टर श्रीकला मैम भी हैं। तो मैं जो प्रश्न है उनके लिए सबसे पहले डॉक्टर कोठारी, प्रोफेसर कोठारी सब तो हम हमारे, कोहली साहब तो हमारे मेंटर ही हैं यहाँ पे जिन्होंने किया है। तो सबसे पहले डॉक्टर यशवंत जुनेजा को मैं माइक सौंप रहा हूँ, वो अपना प्रश्न पैनल से पूछ सकते हैं।
सर ये जो क्वेश्चंस हैं ये जो हम लोग मेडिकल ऑफिसर्स हैं तो क्लिनिक्स में जो सवाल आते हैं नॉर्मल जनता के वो हैं। कुछ एक दो सवाल मेरे भी हैं, अगर आप मुझे परमिट करें तो पहले अपना एक सवाल करना चाहूँगा आपसे, क्योंकि आप पंचकर्मा में एक दो सवाल पर्सनल हैं। सर जैसे वमन में सर मदन फल यूज़ होता है हर जगह और वो अशोधित यूज़ हो रहा है, मतलब मैंने जितने भी देखे हैं जगह सब जगह अशोधित मदन फल ही यूज़ होता है। और जबकि बुक में हम जब पूरा पंचकर्म फॉलो करते हैं आचार्य के हिसाब से, संहिता के हिसाब से, तो क्यों नहीं हम अन्य औषधियों को ट्राई करते वमन में? क्या आपने कभी कोई औषधि इसके अलावा ट्राई करी है प्रैक्टिस में या कहीं आपके? या इट्स फॉर यू माइक।
वमनोपक द्रव्य है ना?
वो नहीं सर, मैं वमन जैसे इंद्रिय है
नहीं, इंद्रियों से वमन नहीं होगा। आपको मदन फल का इस्तेमाल करना जरूरी है प्योर या इम्प्योर फॉर्म में, लेकिन इफेक्ट है, उसका इफेक्ट आ रहा है, कोई साइड इफेक्ट नहीं दिखता है, तो मुझे नहीं लगता उसको उसमें ज़्यादा कुछ करने की आवश्यकता है। नहीं आ नहीं रहा, इधर देखिए, बड़ी सारी कंट्रोवर्सीज को ना हम लोग अवॉइड करते हैं।
जी जी।
एज ए पंचकर्मा स्टूडेंट ये आपका प्रश्न बहुत जेन्युइन है, लेकिन अदरवाइज एज ए प्रैक्टिशनर देखा जाए मदन फल आया, क्योंकि आपको और अपने क्लिनिक के इतने काम हैं, आपका मदन फल आ गया, आपने वो पाउडर करके खिला दिया मध के साथ उसको, और पेशेंट को वॉमिटिंग हो गई, वमन हो गया, तो आप उससे खुश हैं, उसकी कोई कॉम्प्लिकेशन नहीं हुई, उससे भी खुश हैं। लेकिन मदन फल के अलावा हम लोगों ने कोई दूसरी किसी चीज़ का उपयोग किया नहीं है, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, वमनोपगत द्रव्य करके हम लोग मधुयष्टि फांट का ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करते हैं। इसके अलावा दूध का हम लोग नहीं करते हैं, इक्षुरस का भी हम लोगों ने ज़्यादा नहीं किया। ज़्यादा करके मधुयष्टि फांट 5 लीटर बना के रख लेते हैं, उसी को वमनोपगत द्रव्य करके यूज़ करते हैं।
सर
आपका जो प्रश्न है वो ठीक है, वो करके देखिए। ये दिस इज ए सब्जेक्ट मैटर फॉर रिसर्च।
हाँ सर, इसमें मतलब सर 2 वर्क्स हुए हैं सर। एक कृतवेधन में जामनगर पे हुआ था सर।
हाँ।
जैमिन, डॉक्टर जैमिन थे, उन्होंने किया था, हैज़ गॉट वेरी गुड रिजल्ट, क्योंकि कृतवेधन भाई लोकली अवेलेबल है। इंद्रियव क्योंकि ईजिली अवेलेबल है नॉर्थ में, मैंने क्योंकि उसका प्रमाण भी अंतर्नक मुष्टि है, मैंने इसलिए सवाल किया क्योंकि मैं अपनी क्लिनिक्स पे इंद्रियव ही यूज़ करता हूँ वमन में, और मैं इंद्रियव को क्योंकि उसका सही प्रमाण है अंतर्नक मुष्टि, उसका शोधन बड़ा आसान है। उसको अगर रात्रि में यष्टि मधु फांट में अगर भिगो दिया जाए तो वो इजीली शोधित हो जाता है, जबकि मदन फल का शोधन बड़ा टफ है, और शोधन के बाद कई बार वन उतना अच्छा नहीं हो पाता। जैसे आज मैंने सर आप कैसे, और दूसरा सवाल ये है सर कि जैसे शोधनार्थ स्नेहपान है, आजकल सर कैप्सूल फॉर्म में घी आ गया है, मतलब आजकल तिक्तकम घृतम इस टाइप के कैप्सूल्स आ गए हैं, मतलब उसमें करीब 4-5-6 ml का एक कैप्सूल होता है सर। तो क्या हम जो कैप्सूल फॉर्म में आ रहे हैं घृत, क्या उसको ऐसे प्रविचारणा, अगर हम जैसे हमें 30 ml घी पिलाना है तो क्या हम 6 कैप्सूल यूज़ कर सकते हैं इस, ताकि टेस्ट की पैलेटेबिलिटी इशू खत्म हो जाएगा? तो क्या ऐसा कुछ हम कैसे कुछ हम कर सकते हैं या हमें करना चाहिए?
जब आपको 230 ml पिलाना है,
हाँ,
तब आप कितने कैप्सूल खिलाएंगे?
तो सर कैप्सूल खाना पैलेटेबिलिटी के लिए इजीली है, देन टू
आप कटोरा भर के कैप्सूल तो नहीं खिलाएंगे।
नहीं सर 8
नहीं, नॉट एडवाइज्ड, नॉट एडवाइज्ड। घी पीने में सब लोग लेते हैं ना।
नहीं, आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग।
इशू नहीं, यू जस्ट आस्किंग फॉर द आस्किंग पर्पस इज ए डिफरेंट स्टोरी, बट दिस इज नॉट एन इशू विद द पेशेंट। पेशेंट पीते हैं घी, हम लोग उनको बोलते हैं पेप्सी के जैसे इसको लेके पी जाओ, एक घूंट में पीते हैं लोग। तो ये मतलब इशू मेरे सामने नहीं है।
नहीं,
अब
मैं ये नहीं सर, देखिए क्या होता है सर कि
कैप्सूल में आप कितना सारा अनावश्यक द्रव्य आप ले रहे हैं। अगर 200 कैप्सूल या 3-4 ग्राम है और 230 ग्राम आपको खिलाना है, एक में 4 ग्राम है, तो आप बताइए कितना 50-60 कैप्सूल खिलाएंगे, कितना जेलेटिन खिला देंगे उस व्यक्ति को आप, उसके साइड इफेक्ट का क्या?
सर बेसिक
तो जान, ये 1-to-1 डिस्कशन करने की बजाय ना आप प्रश्न पूछिए और बैठिए।
ठीक है सर,
नहीं तो ये इसका कहीं अंत नहीं होगा, है ना।
इसमें से कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं कि एक बार पंचकर्म करा लेने पर क्या फिर कभी कराने की जरूरत नहीं होती?
बिल्कुल कराने की आवश्यकता हो सकती है, रोग अवस्था के ऊपर है। अगर आपका रोग इतना, अगर आपने वासंतिक वमन शिविर वासंतिक वमन किया है तो दोबारा दूसरी वसंत में करिए, तीसरी वसंत में करिए, अगर आप स्वस्थ हैं तो। अगर कोई रोग है, जैसे बहुत सारी सोरियासिस में हम लोग तो वारम विरेचनम बोलते हैं उनको, बार बार विरेचन करो, बार बार वमन करो, तो ये तो डिपेंड करेगा रोग अवस्था के ऊपर।
सर अगला सवाल है, क्या पंचकर्मा करवाने से तुरंत ताकत मिलती है?
ताकत नहीं मिलती है, एनर्जी मिलती है। ताकत मतलब बल नहीं होगा कि आप जिम करें, लेकिन आपको स्फूर्ति मिलेगी, पंचकर्म से होता है।
क्या पंचकर्म सिर्फ मालिश, बॉडी डिटॉक्स या स्पा ट्रीटमेंट है?
क्या
पंचकर्मा सिर्फ मालिश, बॉडी डिटॉक्स या स्पा ट्रीटमेंट?
ये तो इतना सारा डिस्कस किया अभी हम लोगों ने।
मतलब सर ये
पंचकर्म, हाँ नहीं, क्वेश्चन का मालिश जो है ना, केवल अभ्यंग देंगे तो वो शमन चिकित्सा है, लेकिन जब पूर्व कर्म करके आप किसी प्रधान कर्म का पूर्व कर्म करके दे रहे हैं तो वो एक मेथड, अभ्यंग इज ओनली ए मेथड, इज वन ऑफ द प्रोसीजर्स फॉर प्रधान कर्म।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। डॉक्टर सुजीत जायसवाल। सर कुछ और क्वेश्चन है पंचकर्म से रिलेटेड? सर सर एक्चुअली ये क्वेश्चंस जो हैं ये कुछ पेशेंट्स से रिलेटेड थे और कुछ पंचकर्म के बाद और दौरान क्या खाना पीना चाहिए और पंचकर्म के दौरान सख्त परहेज या डाइट रखनी पड़ती है।
नहीं, वो सब लिखा है
वो सब
शास्त्र
हो
में,
गया
कोई-
सर, तो उसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है सर। इसके पश्चात मैं डॉक्टर प्रीति को इनवाइट करती हूँ। डॉक्टर प्रीति, आप हैं यहाँ पर? डॉक्टर अविनाश, डॉक्टर अविनाश हैं यहाँ पर, आइए।
हेलो सर, एक फील्ड से क्वेश्चन आया है कि आयुर्वेदिक वैद्य नाड़ी देखकर ट्रीटमेंट करते थे, लेकिन आज के वैद्य बिना नाड़ी देखे इलाज करते, क्या यह ठीक है?
ये तो ठीक नहीं है। नाड़ी तो देखना ही है। नाड़ी देखने में ठीक है, जो पुराने वैद्यों के बारे में कहा जाता है कि कल रात को क्या खाया था वो भी मालूम होता था नाड़ी से, गुल्म का भी पता लगता है, कैंसर का भी पता लगता है। मैं समझता हूँ ये बहुत हद तक सही नहीं है। जो पहले होता था बड़ा सारा अनुमान परीक्षा भी होती होगी, बहुत सारे वैद्यों को अनुभव भी होता होगा, लेकिन आज वातज पित्तज कफज में उस व्यक्ति की वो अवस्था कौन सी है, उसमें वात प्रधान है, पित्त प्रधान है, कफ प्रधान है, कम से कम नाड़ी से ये तो देखा जा सकता है, उसको एसोसिएट किया जा सकता है। मैं भी नाड़ी देखता हूँ अपने क्लिनिक में, लेकिन उसको एसोसिएट करता हूँ। वात की नाड़ी है, अगर वो पेशेंट पित्त के सिम्टम्स बता रहा है तो मैं स्पेशली पूछता हूँ तेरे जोड़ों में दर्द है क्या, आप समझे ना। अगर तेरे जोड़ों में दर्द है तो वो कहेगा हाँ सर, उठते बैठते मुझे दुखता है घुटना, तो उसको बताया जाएगा कि आपका वात वृद्धि हो रही है और आपको संधिवात की तकलीफ हो सकती है। तो नाड़ी का रोल हमेशा से पहले भी रहा है, अभी भी रहेगा। वो नाड़ी वैद्य क्या बिहेव करता है, कैसे बिहेव करता है, वो अलग बात है। लेकिन वो जो पुराना कहा जाता है कि बहुत सारे नाड़ी वैद्य होते थे, मुझे तो उसकी समझ नहीं है। मैंने कोई भी नाड़ी वैद्य वैसा आज तक देखा नहीं है। ठकराल सर मेरे से बहुत सीनियर हैं, शायद उन्होंने कोई नाड़ी वैद्य देखा हो, तो आप सर इस पर कुछ थोड़ा सा रोशनी डालिए।
हेलो, देखिए हमारे यहाँ पर परीक्षा की दी है, त्रिविध परीक्षा और अष्टविध परीक्षा। जब हम अष्टविध परीक्षा करते हैं तो अष्टविध परीक्षा में एक नाड़ी आता है, लेकिन ये नाड़ी मात्र केवल एक डायग्नोस्टिक मेथड नहीं है। वहाँ पर हम जो अष्टविध परीक्षा उसकी करते हैं तभी हम करते, केवल हम नाड़ी से, नाड़ी एक माध्यम हो सकती है वात पित्त और कफ का, लेकिन वहाँ पर हम कह गए कि ये सर्टेन यही प्रॉब्लम हो सके, ये संभव नहीं है। केवल मात्र नाड़ी जो है वो एक चिकित्सा का माध्यम नहीं है।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। इसके पश्चात एक प्रश्न आया है, मैं डॉक्टर कमल सचदेवा सर से ये उत्तर जानना चाहूँगी। क्या आयुर्वेद में हृदय रोग का कोई इलाज है? सर ये पूछना ये चाह रहे थे शायद कि कितनी ईएफ तक हम कर सकते हैं, इजेक्शन फ्रैक्शन कितना हो तब तक हम आयुर्वेदिक इलाज कर सकते हैं? सर कुछ इसका कुछ थोड़ा बहुत मतलब पेशेंट्स आते हैं जैसे।
सामान्य रूप से जो हृदय रोग अपने यहाँ बताए गए, वात पित्त कफ सन्निपात या क्रमेज, तो हमारे यहाँ सामान्य रूप से सबसे बड़ी भ्रांति तो इसमें भी, जैसे कोई भी हार्ट डिजीज़ का पेशेंट आता है तो हम क्या करते हैं, अर्जुन दे देते हैं उसको। सबसे पहला दिमाग में क्या आता है कि अर्जुन दे दो, पुष्कर मूल दे दो, कुछ दे दो। तो ये करते क्या है, हमारे हार्ट के कौन से मरीजों को ठीक करते हैं, हार्ट में क्या करेंगे चेंजेस है। तो अभी तक की जो रिसर्चेज है, या जो मेरे सीनियर सर भी हैं बैठे हुए हैं, कोहली सर, तो हम लोग अभी तक अर्जुन को समझते हैं कि इसे एंटी अंजाना ड्रग या आईएचडी के पेशेंट्स को दीजिए और हार्ट की कॉन्टेक्टिलिटी बढ़ाने में काम करती है, हार्ट का जो पंपिंग है उसको इम्प्रूव करती है। डेफिनेटली जो आप पूछ रहे हैं कि कितने तक हम अपने पेशेंट्स को दे सकते हैं ये इफेक्टिव वॉल्यूम वाले को, तो डेफिनेटली, लेकिन इसकी थोड़ी मात्रा हम लोग ज़्यादा प्रयोग करेंगे तब ये असर आएगा। अगर आप 250 मिलीग्राम का या 500 मिलीग्राम की गोली दे देंगे अर्जुन चूर्ण की या अर्जुन की, तो उससे ये संभव नहीं है। दूसरा, हार्ट डिजीज़ तो आज पूरी कार्डियोलॉजी है हमारे सामने, इतनी बड़ी हार्ट डिजीज़ है, तो हम कौन सी हार्ट डिजीज़ में आयुर्वेद में हाथ डालें? तो ये सबसे बड़ा प्रश्न आता है हमारे पास कि हम कौन से हार्ट डिजीज़ के पेशेंट को ट्रीट करें थ्रू आयुर्वेद। तो सामान्य रूप से जो मैं अभी तक की प्रैक्टिस से बता सकता हूँ कि इट रिड्यूसेस द इश्चीमिया, आयुर्वेद के आप आराम से ठीक कर सकते हो, आईएचडी पेशेंट्स को ठीक कर सकते हो और कार्डियक फेलियर के पेशेंट्स को ठीक कर सकते हो बहुत हद तक। जैसे अपने यहाँ करवीर योग बताया गया, अपने यहाँ और पुनर्नवा वगैरह औषधियाँ जो बताई गई, ये कार्डियक फेलियर के पेशेंट में बहुत हद तक अपने आयुर्वेद से उसको इम्प्रूव कर सकते हो। तो हमें अपनी लिमिट्स पता होने चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि कोई भी हार्ट डिजीज का पेशेंट आ जाएगा तो हम उसको कहेंगे हम आयुर्वेद से ठीक कर देंगे। इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट। थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सर।
हेलो, देखिए हमारे यहाँ लिखा है रोगमादो परीक्षेत तदनंतरम औषधम। पहले रोगी की परीक्षा कीजिए तब औषधि करिए। प्रश्न आता है कि हम हृदय रोग की बात करते हैं, हृदय रोग ऐसा नहीं, और व्याधियों में भी उसका हृदय रोग मिलता है, जैसे कृमिजन व्याधियाँ हैं, है ना। जरो व्रणताशुरम हृदय रोग सदनम ब्रह्म भक्त देशोदार संजात कृमि लक्षणम, वहाँ हृदय रोग आता है। एक उदाहरण मैं आपको दे रहा हूँ। 2 पेशेंट मेरे पास ऐसे आए हैं। एक पेशेंट में जब यहाँ पर लेक्चर था अमृतसर में, तो वहाँ पर एक प्रश्न, वहाँ पर प्राचार्य एक संस्कृत महाविद्यालय के प्राचार्य रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छे विद्वान है। संस्कृत में वो कथा कर गए, कथा करते करते अचानक बेहोश हो गए। बेहोश हो गए तो उनको तुरंत मेडिकल कॉलेज में एडमिट कराया गया। वहाँ पर उन्होंने सब इन्वेस्टिगेशन किए, ECG किया, सब कुछ किया, और करने के बाद उनको एडमिट करके कहा आप कार्डियक पेशेंट हैं और रेस्ट कीजिए, आप ना पूजा पाठ करेंगे ना कहीं कुछ करेंगे। 1 हफ्ता देने के पश्चात उन्होंने उनको डिस्चार्ज किया, और डिस्चार्ज करने के बाद जब संस्था में आए तो वहाँ पर उन्होंने सभी जितने हमारे यहाँ के, हम चूँकि वो आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज वहाँ पर संस्कृत महाविद्यालय और आयुर्वेदिक कॉलेज आसपास में थे, तो वहाँ पर उन्होंने हम लोगों से चर्चा की भाई ऐसा क्यों हुआ। तो हम लोगों ने डॉक्टर PN चतुर्वेदी जी वहाँ पर उस समय प्रिंसिपल थे, उन्होंने एक हम लोगों को कॉन्फ्रेंस की और उन्होंने कहा कि आप डायग्नोस किए क्या ये हृदय रोग था इनको। तो जब हमने बैठा तो चूँकि संस्कृत आचार्य थे, तो उस समय होते होते जब उन्होंने हमने से कहा कि आप अपने चीफ कंप्लेंट सबको बताइए, तो उन्होंने हमको बताना शुरू किया। तो हमने कहा कि सर ये हार्ट रोग नहीं है, इट इज़ ये मैंने प्योरली एक वार्म इन्फेस्टेशन है। तो उन्होंने कहा ऐसा क्या। मैंने कहा हम लिखा है जरो विणता शूलम हृदरोग सदनम ब्रह्म भक्त देशुषात संजात कृमि लक्षणम। तो प्रिंसिपल तुरंत चौंक गए। उन्होंने कहा मुझको ये सब लक्षण यही हो रहे हैं। और उसके बाद हमने उनसे कहा आप इन्वेस्टिगेशन आए, अपना स्टूल एग्जामिनेशन कराइए, और रिपीटेडली 3 जगह से, एक जगह से भी न कराइए, 3 जगह अलग अलग पैथोलॉजी से कराइए, तो विल नॉट बिलीव एक पैथोलॉजी। और उनको हमने कहा कहीं आप एक दूसरे को पैथोलॉजी में कहीं ये मत बताइए कि मुझको क्या प्रॉब्लम हुई है। तो एक जगह पैथोलॉजी में एक जगह से आया उसको एमोबाइसिस, दूसरी पैथोलॉजी से आया एस्केरेसिस, और थर्ड जगह आया उसको एमीबा। आप बताइए वो सॉरी जियार्डिसिस, तो आप बताइए उसमें मल्टीपल इन्फेक्शन हुआ, वहाँ हार्ट डिजीज कैसे हो गई जब 3 और से उसको। ऐसा तो नहीं कि उसको हो सकता है वो कहीं ना कहीं वाटर प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है उनको। तो हम उनको डिवॉर्म किया और वो पेशेंट ठीक हो गए। दूसरा केस मैं लखनऊ का ही बता रहा हूँ, मैं नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ। 2 बड़े बड़े यहाँ हमारे बहुत बड़े फिजिशियंस हैं, उनके यहाँ सेम प्रॉब्लम गई, और बड़ी बड़ी मोटी फाइल लेकर के पेशेंट मेरे पास अमीनाबाद में आया। उन्होंने कहा सर मेरी ये प्रॉब्लम से, मैंने उसको यही कहा कि आप पहले स्टूल एग्जामिनेशन से, और यही प्रॉब्लम से वो आपको मिली, और पेशेंट ठीक है, कोई कार्डियक प्रॉब्लम नहीं। तो हृदय रोग होने से पहले आप पहले रोगमादव परीक्षित तदनंतरम औषधम। हम चिकित्सा करने लगते हैं, चिकित्सा तब करिए जब आप रोगी को परीक्षा कर लीजिए, आप डायग्नोसिस करिए। रोगमादव परीक्षित तदनंतरम औषधम, औषधि आप हम पहले स्टार्ट कर देते हैं, ये भी बहुत गलत है। तो इसलिए मेरा आपसे कहना ये कि हम चूंकि आप क्षेत्र में जा रहे हैं, तो आप रोगी की परीक्षा कीजिए तब चिकित्सा प्रारंभ कीजिए। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। मैं पुनः डॉक्टर ND मिश्रा सर से एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहती हूँ कि एक क्वेश्चन आया है आयुर्वेदिक दवा लेने से सर थायराइड, शुगर, दमा आदि में एलोपैथिक इलाज छोड़कर सिर्फ आयुर्वेदिक इलाज लेना अधिक सुरक्षित है, क्या ये सही है सर? मतलब कहने का अर्थ ये है कि सर इफ़ देयर इज़ एनी लिमिटेशन, सर आप आयुर्वेदिक प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो पेशेंट्स बहुत HbA1c 10, 11, 12 तक के पेशेंट्स आते हैं, तो उनको क्या सलाह देते हैं आप, क्या उनको करना चाहिए?
देखिए जहाँ तक हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस की बात आती है, हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस में आयुर्वेदिक और से हम जहाँ पर उनको रसायन चिकित्सा यद जरा व्याधिनाथम तद रसायनम कहा गया, हम उसके हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस हुआ है। हम जनरली होता क्या है कि लेडीज डॉक्टर्स जो है वो हार्मोन स्टार्ट कर देती है, अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम होती है तो वो हार्मोन्स देना शुरू कर देती हैं और वो हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस चल करके आगे चल करके अन्य प्रॉब्लम्स करता है। इसलिए हम अगर हार्मोन्स को, बहुत सी औषधियाँ आई हैं जिनको धीरे 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 हार्मोन्स को धीरे 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 विड्रॉ कर लेते हैं। थायराइड की प्रॉब्लम है, वहाँ पर हम TFN 30-40 और भी औषधियाँ हैं जो उनको दे देते ठीक। यहाँ अश्वगंधा जो एक औषध रसायन है, यदि उनका हम प्रयोग करते हैं, अश्वगंधा है, आमल की, मुलेठी और गिलो, ये 4 द्रव्य एक औषध द्रव्य हैं। यदि इनका आप प्रयोग करते धीरे धीरे हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस प्रॉब्लम का ठीक हो सकता है और उसमें धीरे धीरे आप विड्रॉ कर सकते हैं।
सर पूछने का सिर्फ आशय ये था कि सर आप इतने साल का आपका क्लिनिकल एक्सपीरियंस है, तो हम कहाँ तक TSH हो जहाँ पर हमारी एक लिमिटेशन है कि 8 या 10 या 6, 7 जहाँ तक लिमिटेशन है कि हम आयुर्वेदिक दवाओं का प्रयोग करें, हम थायरॉक्सिन ना दें उसको।
मेरे पास ऐसे पेशेंट भी हैं जो 12 तक भी उसका TSH रहा है और धीरे धीरे मैंने विड्रॉ नहीं किया है। मैंने एलोपैथिक सबते चलते उसको, चूंकि अगर हम सडन विड्रॉ करते विड्रॉल सिम्टम स्टार्ट हो जाते हैं। हम अपने औषधियाँ देते हैं और आयुर्वेदिक औषधियाँ जो है वो मेटाबोलाइज होती हैं, तब वो फंक्शन काम करती है धीरे धीरे और तब वो सामान्य स्थिति में हमारे यहाँ जो सिद्धांत है, हम चिकित्सा जो करते हैं वहाँ पर औषधियों का एकदम सडन विड्रॉ नहीं करना चाहिए। एलोपैथिक विड्रॉ करेंगे तो दिक्कत हो। सामान्यम वृद्धि कारणम, हम सब सामान्य वृद्धि वृद्धिकारक औषधि देते हैं तब उनको विड्रॉ कराते, धीरे धीरे सडन विड्रॉ नहीं करना चाहिए कभी भी।
अभी थायराइड की बात चल रही है, जो मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है, जो एलोपैथिक दवाई चलती है, मेरे जो पेशेंट्स हैं वो तो मैं चलने देता हूँ, लेकिन उसके साथ जलकुंभी सोरस, जलकुंभी एक पौधा है जो तालाब में होता है, बहुत बहुतायत में होता है। उसको आप ले आइए, उसके 8-10 पत्ते अच्छी तरह से उसको धो लीजिए, क्योंकि तालाब में वो गंदा पानी होता है। धो के उसको सोरस निकाल लीजिए उसका, 2 चम्मच सुबह 2 चम्मच शाम को। और इतनी कठिनाई ज़रूर है उसमें कि वो प्रतिदिन आपको बनाना है, प्रतिदिन पिलाना है। लगभग 3 से 4 महीना पिलाने से वो थायराइड को नॉर्मल कर देता है। हाइपरथायराइडिज्म है तो नीचे ले आएगा, हाइपो है तो उसको जो है वो नॉर्मल कर देगा। तो इस तरह बहुत ही अच्छी ये एक्सपीरियंस है मेरा।
हमारे यहाँ की क्षीणा जो क्षीण दोष हैं उनका वर्धन करना चाहिए और जो बढ़ गए उनको ह्रास करना चाहिए और समापरितालव्य। तो यहाँ पर अगर हम इस सिद्धांत को लेकर के चलते हैं तो हमारे वृद्धि होइएगा तो वो क्षीण करें और जो क्षीण हो उनको वृद्धि करें, जो समान है उनको समान पालन करें, तो हम चिकित्सा कर सकते हैं।
थैंक यू सर। कहने का अर्थ ये है कि जब TSH बढ़ा हुआ है, मतलब 10, 12 या बहुत, हमारे पास अगर आपके पास कभी कभी 50, 60 या 100 के ऊपर भी TSH आ रहे हैं, तो सिर्फ आपको ट्रायल नहीं करना है। सिर्फ जब आपको हार्मोन्स नहीं है तो आपको कुछ हार्मोन्स देके उसके साथ एडजुवेंट दीजिए, और अगर 10 के अंदर है तो अगर आप एडजुवेंट देते हो तो आपके थायरॉक्सिन की डोज भी रिड्यूस होती है। सर इसके पश्चात मैं डॉक्टर श्री कला जी से क्वेश्चन करना चाहती हूँ कि रोगी अक्सर कहते हैं, एक मिथ है कि आयुर्वेद की दवाएं खाते रहो, फ़ायदा नहीं होगा तो कोई नुकसान भी नहीं होगा। मैम इसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
Good afternoon all. Actually, one of the main misconception among the people is that natural means it is safe, traditional means it is safe, otherwise herbal means it is safe. Actually, we have to think that our Acharyas has written all these things years before. The condition was different from that time and right now. Actually, right now, everything has been changed. You might all have heard about the concept of Dushi Visha. Is it? So, Dushi Visha, whether it is existing among us? Actually, we are having exposure to all these toxins since years. Okay, so those all medicines that has been prescribed at that time, the quality of the medicines is also coming down and our health status is also coming down. So in this scenario, we have to think about whether how we can tell Ayurveda is 100% safe. Actually, in our text also for different formulations, Acharya has prescribedly mentioned this much duration you have to give the medicines. For Arogya Vardhini, 1 Mandal Kal, you have to administer only for 41 days. After that, definitely you should give a gap. But right now we are continuously administering is for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And in Rasayana preparations also, Acharya has particularly mentioned you have to take this for 1 month. You have to take this for 14 days. Likewise, specific descriptions are there. But right now we are blindly continuing the medicine without doctor's prescription. So self-medication and this without doctor's consultation, irrelevant use of these medicines, this cannot be promoted because this is giving a bad repute on our Ayurveda. Actually, right now you might all have heard about the issue of ashwagandha. Ashwagandha was banned in foreign countries like Denmark. Why it happened? We all are having documents that we are giving ashwagandha to patients in our clinic since years. We didn't get a complaint like ashwagandha is having side effect. But in foreign countries, why they banned it? They are telling that ashwagandha has some side effects on the hormones and it may cause abortion.
प्रोफेसर के आर कोहली जी की फ्लाइट का समय हो गया है। सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने अपना अमूल्य समय हमारी संस्था को दिया। सर
Actually, in the context of Prashasta Beshja also, Acharya has mentioned that the dose and the duration, it is very important. Dravyanam adibahulyat vyapat samjayade dhruvam means if you are giving higher dose or for longer duration, the dravya definitely it will cause vyapat, side effects. So these adverse drug reactions and these false claims on Ayurveda medicines, all these are because of the irrelevant use, irrelevant without definite dose, without definite duration we are giving. So right patient, right dose, right time, right route of administration, all these 5 R's should be there for Ayurveda drugs also. Ayurveda drugs also need scientific validation. It is not like that we can tell that previously it was like. So now for the ashwagandha case also, Ayush has contributed a ashwagandha safety committee and they have prepared a complete report of all the studies that have been undergone and they have submitted the report that ashwagandha is not having such toxic effects on reproductive hormones likewise. So these types of safety documentation should be there and we should promote the safe use of Ayurvedic medicine. So it's not like that Ayurveda is safe, you can give it for months, years without any proper consultation. So this should be scientifically validated. Actually, standard protocol should be there for each and every process for the purification of the drug. Right now CCRS is also taking so many initiatives for the preparation of this standard protocol. For purification of the drugs, for the duration of drug administration, for the formulation development. Actually, previously there was one discussion regarding the change of the dosage forms. I would like to tell you that actually Acharya has prescribes you few dosage forms. So Rasa Kalpana, Kashaya Kalpana, does not work only because of the property of the drug. If for Shadavari, you are giving Shadavari, Rasa Guna Virya, it will work. But if Shadavari you are giving in Churna form, Churna is also having different property. If Shadavari you are giving in Kshirapaka form, it is having another property. So the properties of the formulation also matters. It's not like that. Actually, in the first chapters like Jara Chikilsa, Kasa Chikilsa, Acharya has clearly mentioned the treatment principles. In Kasa Chikilsa, Acharya has mentioned same formulation you can give as Churna if it is Kabaja Kasa because it will expel the Kaba and it will remove the Utkledana. But the same formulation if for Vati Kaba you are giving means you have to prepare it in a ghee form or Avaleha form because there the properties of this Churna and Avaleha is also doing the Samprapti Vigarna. So it is not like that just focusing on the properties of the drugs involved in the formulation. You can change it into tablet, linctus or so many capsules, gel-based capsule, likewise it is coming. It's not like that. It should be based on scientific reference. And one more thing, there may be chances of interactions. Now for preparing new formulations, we are adding excipients, we are adding preservatives and all those things. We don't know whether these are having any interaction with the properties of the drugs. So whether we have to give priority for the patient feasibility or palatability or whether we have to give focus on the efficacy and safety. This depends on our formulation development. So criteria should be designed by us for giving priority for patient safety and efficacy. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. मैम आपने स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एंड प्रिपरेशन ऑफ ड्रग की बात करी है, तो इसी कंटेक्स्ट में एक क्वेश्चन आया है, क्या रस औषधियों से गुर्दे और यकृत, किडनी एंड लिवर को कोई नुकसान पहुंचता है? मैम शायद क्वेश्चन पूछने का ये है कि आप मतलब कैसे डिसाइड करेगा पेशेंट जैसे लेने जा रहा है, कोई रस औषधि ले रहा है, तो रस औषधि का इसका कुछ आपने CCRS में कुछ स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन किया हुआ है कि हमें क्या लेना है क्या नहीं लेना है?
Actually, 2 years before, there was a study conducted in different states. All as a multicentric study, they conducted the analysis of some rasa aushadhis for 3 months duration, and they continuously administered the medicine to 3 months. And after that, they have evaluated all the parameters: liver function, kidney function, thyroid profile, and everything. But unfortunately, the report was there was some increase in the liver function parameters and kidney profile of the patients, but we were not able to standardize because at that time the medicine was purchased from different manufacturing companies. So it actually one more main important thing I will want to tell you, that everything will depend upon the method of preparation. So if the proper shodhana, proper marana, everything has been done, and you have selected, rasa aushadhis are also having some herbal drugs in combination also. So if they are also in genuine quality, so all these things will matter. So actually at that time, now CCRS had tried to develop protocol for one more study, because they are planning to prepare the medicines based on the SOPs mentioned in Ayurveda formulary of India. In Ayurveda formulary, separate protocols has been mentioned. So strictly based on that protocol, we will prepare the medicines, and then again if we are administering it for the patients, whether it will be having any, actually this we will tell for toxicity study. In animals we used to give for 3 months, likewise for toxicity study, but in patients we can do toxicity profiling like this, liver function test, all those hormone profiling. But unfortunately there was negative results, but this all will depends on whether patient is taking any other medicine together, the quality of the medicine. So all these things will matter. If proper shodhan, proper maran, and based on standard procedure mentioned in Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia or Ayurvedic formulary is followed, definitely we can claim that they will not be having any side effects. And one more thing I would like to tell you is that it's not like that this heavy metal problem is particularly meant for blame for rasa preparations. Now many of the herbal formulations are also having bad claim that they are having heavy metal contamination. But why this is happening? Actually, there is good agricultural practices, good collection practices mentioned. So whether for Ayurvedic drugs we are following these good agricultural practices and good collection practices, this also matters. In Ayurveda Samhita, Acharya has clearly mentioned that from which all places you need not to collect the drug. Acharya has clearly mentioned not from Smashana Desha, not from Margaja, not from industrial like areas. These things has been clearly mentioned. Why? Because these areas are highly polluted. There are chances of heavy metal contamination in the soil itself. And you all might have heard about phytoremediation. Means plants itself are having an inherent capacity to absorb these heavy metals from the soil, from the environment. And these get accumulated in the plants itself. So if we are doing simple boiling or we are preparing changing it into another dosage form, there is no destruction of these heavy metals happening, and directly it is coming to our formulations. So not only this mercury or copper like metals we are adding, also these herbal formulations are also adding this heavy metal contamination to the drug. So that's why in API, in AFI, they have give limitations of how much limit. Mercury should be within this limit, cadmium should be within this limit for rasa preparations and also for herbal formulations. So if these quality standards are complied by the drug, then only you have to give it for the patient. For PG students also I would like to tell you is that if you are doing study on a drug in clinical study, please try to follow the SOP, and based on that you prepare a drug, and you should have a certificate of analysis of the formulation. Maybe classical formulation, you should have a certificate of analysis of the COA, because in that you have to mention that whether the parameters mentioned in API is complying with your drug you have prepared. Then only we can say that the result you got in the clinical study is because of this drug is efficacious, or this drug is not having safety issue. If you are not based on protocol, if it is not based on pharmacopoeia, you can't claim, because if it is having other contamination and it may be giving some toxic effect, means directly the blame will be coming on our drug. So please follow the SOP, please prepare the certificate of analysis, at least basic quality parameters you follow for the formulations and single drugs. Then definitely we can assure that in clinical studies as well as the safety and efficacy of our drugs.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
मैं 1 मिनट लूँगा। मैडम की बात को मैं सिंप्लीफाई कर देता हूँ। बहुत अच्छा बोला आपने। एक बहुत छोटा सा उदाहरण दे रहा हूँ, और हर घर में वो चीज़ इस्तेमाल होती है। हम लोग आलू ख़रीदते हैं, एक सामान्य आलू जो फर्रुखाबाद में पैदा होता है, एक आलू जो पहाड़ी आलू होता है। अभी एक आलू आया था, वो हैदराबाद